Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Endless Space 2. Before we get going today, I want to talk about something. There have been a few comments by people over the course of this series, and there was a particularly good comment thread about it on yesterday's episode between Game Account and the Nose Plays. The combat system in this game is a lot more complex than I'm making it out to be. It was true even before, back when I was playing it on the channel originally, but it's more true now because they've really done a great job of making the weapon modules more complex and giving you a lot more types of weapon modules that interact with each other in interesting ways. So, I don't want anybody to walk away from this thinking that this thing I'm doing where it's just like, well, we'll put all the laser weapons on the ships. Nope, they switched to energy shields, now we'll put all the bullet weapons on the ships, is all that there is to the combat system. There's a lot of stuff going on. You can make much more complicated fleets than just let's put all the ships in with all the laser weapons. There are real battle tactics. You can design things that are more effective and cooler and smarter than the things I am designing. And there's two reasons, really, that I'm not doing a better job here. Number one is that I am not being forced to. I can get away with... I can win games playing the way I'm playing because I'm just playing against the AI. I'm not playing against other players who would do a better job with their own fleets and stuff. And number two, I do play these games sort of as optimization puzzles. I just love to increase numbers, man. When I do stuff and it makes a number go up, there's a little a little light bulb inside of me that flickers on for just a moment. And I love that. I love that moment. So basically what I'm saying is, first of all, do not judge the game simply by what you're seeing here. There is more stuff going on. There's a level of complexity I am barely scratching, not just in the combat systems, but in other parts of the game. We could be optimizing our population quite a bit more. Remember that when we can use luxury resources both to influence the birth rate of our planets, but also to double the population effects on planets. So, like, we're about to hit the 50 population collection bonus for Vaulters, at which point we will have all of this extra science. And at that time, acquiring some Transvine so that we can double the population effects, make all 50 of our Vaulters produce 1 extra science per turn, double... I don't know if the collection effects are doubled, but if they are, that's, like, completely insane. I don't do a good job, really, of managing the way my population units are distributed over my systems and stuff. That's something I could be better at. So I'm saying this for 2 reasons. Number one, I want you guys to know that there's more going on in this game than I am showing you. Seriously, I think this is really an extremely good game. And 2, I'm going to try harder. I'm going to try harder to do a better job. I'm going to try not to just do the bare minimum that the game will let me get away with. So, to that end, let's figure out how we're going to finish this war. So we talked, I mentioned last time, I was reminded and then talked about a little bit how, here we go. Cravers deplete their planets. They get extra resources out of them. Cravers get more resources per turn out of a planet than anybody else would be able to, but they burn the planets out. And eventually, this planet is exhausted and is just producing garbage resources. That means that the usual sort of slingshot effect that you get from defeating another empire and taking all of their cool stuff and using it to push your own plans is going to be very muted. If we manage to eliminate the Cravers, a lot of these systems over here aren't going to be any good. So, we're probably not going to be able to use them to slingshot into a really powerful victory position. So I was thinking about victories. What we can do... Here we go. What we could go for is a conquest victory. It's an unusual victory type. It's not one that I've done very many times. But no matter how depleted and hollowed out and just crummy the Cravers have made their systems, they still count as systems. So we could try to go to 28 star systems. Now you may be saying, hey SB, there's no way you can colonize 28 star systems. You can barely keep a normal size empire happy. And I hear what you're saying. 2 things. Number 1, we could be focusing a lot more on approval. Number 2, There is actually a technology in the Empire development tree, and I don't remember exactly where it is. But there's a thing you can build on a world that makes that world not count toward your system count. It's in here somewhere. I don't remember what it's called, or I would just search it. It might be part of... Shoot, I don't remember. But there's a structure you can build on a world that makes it not count as one of your worlds for the purposes of overcolonization, but it requires that the world be level 4 first. So we have to get all of the system developments. But once we've done that, we can expand tremendously. Just keep pushing system development. Obviously, that means we're going to need a lot of resources. This is a thing that I could have looked up before starting recording. That might have been the wise move. I might not be remembering correctly which part of the tree it's into. I know these aren't it. Yeah, okay. I don't know where it is, but I do know that it exists, and we will find it when we need it. So that might be a path to victory, and a somewhat unusual path to victory. Now, it's also the case that if we're going all the way to the end of 2 of the quarters of the tech tree, we might be better off just getting a science victory instead, especially given how good our population is at producing science and what we could do with our collection bonuses if indeed they do double when we use the luxury resources on them. So that might be what we do instead. You can win a science victory just by researching all 4 of the endless technologies. That might be a good way to go. Those busted up systems, the busted up Craver systems, can still hold a population. Our units of population on those planets will still produce their population bonuses. And we could, even if we can't grow population on these systems, we could ship people off via spaceport. Just keep producing population on the high food systems and then shipping them off to Craver prison planets. Anyway, what on earth am I even doing right now? I'm currently researching, yep, that thing. That's an important thing. It's really bugging me now. I can't find that thing. Oh, it's right here. Autonomous administration. So each system can hold one of these. It gives you +1 systems occupied before triggering expansion. Disapproval can only be built if you have colony level 4. Each one of them costs a considerable amount of influence, in addition to the industry cost. But that's a cool thing that we have not yet interacted with. Alright, how are we doing? We don't really have a lot of ships left, right? I lost some fights. Some things happened. It would be very expensive to repair these ships manually, but your ships repair passively a certain percentage of their damage every turn when they're just hanging out around a friendly system. So you guys have no move left. You guys are playing defense right here. Let's just hit end turn. We're gonna try to dig into these systems, have a little bit more fun with these systems, because there's a lot of cool stuff that can be done. Produce the most industry in the galaxy. Own the system producing the most industry. I don't know, man. Maybe. We'll see. Seems like a good time to start leaning into the science stuff, though. So where is she right now? She's on Rasam. What is the science output of Rasam relative to our other systems? High. Pretty good. Obviously, Alcyone just by dint of sheer population count is producing a lot of stuff. Somehow I've become aware of dark glitter. So do we have... We are 1 tech away from being able to do level 3 system development, and then 3 more techs away from being able to do level 4. Well, you know what we probably could afford to spend some time on is developing trade networks. We're fiscally solvent right now entirely on the back of... entirely on the back of the Super Tax Act. So we need to fix that. We need to develop a little bit more. This is something we can only build once. We have 6 more population slots here, so we could get up to 17 population. This is not a bad place to do it. It's not the highest population spot in the Empire, but it is a place where we'll be able to start getting the benefit very quickly. You know what? I think no matter what our victory type is, I think that's going to be the plan. Let's start getting our level 4 system development going. Maybe it will lead us to a colonization victory. Maybe it will lead us to a science victory. But that's the direction I want to go in. All right, let's colonize this because we're starting to get actually kind of low on just places to put people. Let's also get some industry, or get some influence, some approval. Let's get some approval. Then let's get some influence. Why not? We'll just queue up a lot of buildings and stuff. And, yeah, sure. If we need to build more warships, we'll go and slot them into the queue. We'll interrupt things. So here comes the UE, bringing ships into my territory. They have been threatening us. Let's go into defense mode here. We'll show these guys the door. We are allowed to defend ourselves. Should I just tell them to get out?
You test my patience contacting the Empire.
I mean, I guess Cold War is technically war. Huh. That's weird. It's showing us that we have new contextual terms, but in fact, we have no contextual terms. Well, once they're at our system, I'm definitely going to be able to tell them to get out. Okay, what's our manpower situation like right here? Urge these up. This fleet is on 63 tanks. I'm thinking we go hit Dobrynia. 127 infantry. They've got a pair of butchers, projectile weapons, and energy defenses. Okay. They got a pair of butchers coming who are ready to fight us. So let's talk about more complicated ship designs. Or maybe not more complicated ship designs, but more complicated fleet designs. To a certain extent, you can't really get fancy in the early game. I mean, you only have 4 command points and like 2 hulls, and not really a lot of modules. But at this point in the game, we have a lot of options. So, I've seen some people saying that I should try to vary up my weapon systems more. You know, go like partially projectile, partially energy, so that it's harder to hard counter. And it's true that that does mean you have to spend less on retrofitting, but it also means you have to spend more on ships because you lose more ships in fights when you're not fighting at full potential. It's basically like it's a risk versus reward thing. If your ships are totally hard countering the enemy ships, you do very well, you lose very little, but it's a system that requires constant maintenance because you have to be watching for new enemy ships and refitting your weapon systems and stuff. Whereas if you go for more versatile ship designs, you lose more ships in actual combat, but you never have one of those, oops, they countered me and I didn't notice blowouts, and you don't have to spend as much on just regular upkeep. I don't think either way is a bad way to go. This is just, I like trying to optimize for the individual situations. I do kind of wonder, though, like, now that we have these boarding pods, I wonder how feasible it is for us to go on a ship abduction strategy. What if we tried to focus on not damaging the enemy ships? At least not any more than is necessary. Shoot weapons at them that like damage their crew. And there are special weapons that are about crew damage. Probably use projectile weapons and like take it easy on them, but projectile weapons to help defend ourselves against incoming missiles, and like just focus your weapons defensively. Try not to kill the enemy ships. Play a couple of large-scale... Where's that ship design? These ones. Coordinators, which are the medium-sized sort of defensive ships, the medium-sized utility ships that can equip modules that are like plus 10% chance to target this, and then you just load them down with defensive modules and try to steal more enemy ships. It sounds like a risky strategy, But if it works, we'd be paying a lot less into our war effort because we'd be using some amount of the enemy's war efforts to fight them. It sounds like a cool plan. I don't know if it's a good plan. This is a good time to find stuff like that out, right? So I want to try outfitting 2 medium ships with boarding pods. Boarding pods reduce the manpower of enemy ships. So it's not... Manpower damage is impacted by relative infantry strength. So we'd have to buff up our infantry. And there's a manpower cost to even equip these. But it doesn't look like it's actually based on the manpower of our ship in any way. As long as we have the Empire manpower to actually put the things into the ship. How do we... What's my infantry look like? Infantry improvements are all dust and titanium and hyperium. And if we wanted to get all of them, we almost can do that right this second. We're a little bit short on dust. It doesn't say exactly how much, but... That's interesting, right? Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a new design. You base it on one of your hulls. We're going to go Quarrel class. It would really be better to use the other ship hull for this because the coordinator ships are more defensive. Focuses fire with the flotilla to quickly eliminate ships. Damage plus 20% on weapons. Yeah, these ships, these Quarrel class ships are really about killing people. So this would be 2 turns. We could throw this in front of everything else we're doing. It would properly unlock this next tier, which would give us nothing really spectacularly valuable. Yeah, you know what? We're going to do this. We'll throw this at the front of the queue. I would love to be able to steal their warships. Things are just going to be so much easier. I guess I do still have to edit these, though. At the very least, I think it is wise for us to swap back to this version of the ship for the moment, since we have seen what they're bringing out to us. Actually, hold on a second. Like I said, we're going to try to do better here. What are the tactics I'm thinking about? If we're going for long-range missile stuff, I know they're using projectiles right now, so shield absorption is not the biggest deal for us because we're equipping hull plating modules more than anything. Yeah, if we're setting up for battles where we're equipping hull plating modules, we should probably be going for bullet weapons, huh? Yeah, I don't know if they're using bullets or missiles, but I can guess from the fact that their range effectiveness is mostly long that they're probably using missiles. So why don't we go for more of a bullet thing? I know our missile weapons are better than our bullet weapons, but how much better? 63 DPS versus 68. Oh, they're not even anymore. Our basic weapon modules have gotten so good thanks to our advancements in military tech tiers that actually this makes a lot of sense. So let's build around the turtle design, or the turtle strategy, right? We know they want to be far away from us. We know they want to use ballistic weapons. Hull plating plus get up in their face with bullets seems to be a good way to go. So 2 close flotillas, 1 medium. I want to put a please target me longship into each of the close flotillas. This slot is... No, we probably still... Yeah, we want this module in here. And then it's got good defenses. I was kind of thinking, well, maybe we need more defenses, but we do need the target me module. That's important. And you guys, I mean, it's not terribly fancy. Just shoot people. So this is just something to worry about if we're getting boarded a lot. Did I ever pick up... I did. Projectile damage plus 20%. That's what I was... Okay. So if we're going to run longships... Like, okay, if we're running 2 flotillas, what's my command point count right now? Is it still 10? So longship... A longship is 3. We put it in with like 1 close range ship. That'll be 8 of our command points right there. So then we need some other ships that are out doing stuff at medium range. And in fact, can I? No. It doesn't look like I can just make a copy of this. Let's make a new ship design. It has to be a small ship because we don't have room for another medium ship under our command point cap. Is there something useful I could do with a bolt class? So these things tend to draw enemy fire. That's probably not where I want to be, right? We could be pulling a lot more science out of battles, though. Yeah, what if I... Show me just the weapon modules. Do I have a projectile weapon module that is reasonably effective at medium range? We could be using swarm missiles. There's not really any value in that with us not being in the missile strat at all. This only affects enemy energy weapons. There's not really a reason to do that. Railguns seem fine as a way of, like, not trying to engage in the rock, paper, scissors game. So actually, it doesn't look like there's any particularly phenomenally valuable weapons tech we could be using here. But increase crew destruction in the whole flotilla. Okay. So we could put some of these in. Man, we need more command points. If we're going to get fancy with this, we're going to need more command points. That's where I'm coming down. All right, let's just put a couple of these in. These are going to be our science scoop ships. So we're going to toughen them up. We'll have a couple of these in there. Science scoop. There's so many things we could have been doing all this time. I'm just trying to get there a little bit. So this is just the fighting fleet. I do want to keep the design we're currently running of having a fleet that's job it is to fight the enemy ships and a different fleet whose job it is to take the enemy planets. I think that's a smart idea. So we're not going to put any manpower modules on these ships or anything. Okay, so I need... We don't really have any small ships left over here. What are these guys coming in as? Bullet. So these ships are not super well suited to fighting them, in the sense that we're going to get shot up a little bit. But also, neither one of these ships is actually capable of dealing much damage, so maybe I don't care. And we're off their defense type, so we will send them home quickly. They'll probably just run, honestly. If I were them, I'd run. Alright, so I guess what I'm doing is... This ship needs to go back to a friendly planet and restock. These ships probably need to get upgraded and head to Zubin to defend it. And Rassam needs to give me some of those new carves. I guess one, because we kind of gotta get moving. Okay. I have a plan at least. Alright, so we dealt with all of that. Everybody's building stuff. Right. We have some money, we have access to the marketplace. We probably should be paying more attention to our collection bonuses and manipulating our population more effectively. So we want to pop this dude out. Merge these together. And this fleet heads to Zubin. Okay. By the way, we still haven't gotten a use out of the privateer thing. I haven't really seen an opportunity this game. There was no point where I wanted to fight another player and I was like, well, I don't want them to know it's me. Because I want the Cravers to understand what is happening here. Okay, this thing has ended, which is a shame because now we're really hemorrhaging influence. I'm expanding my territory much more quickly than I'm expanding my resource generation. It's not totally ideal. Alright, you just disband. Just chill out here, refill with manpower. We're positive on manpower for a moment here. We're trying. The Argosy is, like, extremely ready to settle. I just don't think it's a good idea to mess with our approval right now. Zubin's not building anything. Actually, take me into Zubin. We should probably get this planet. And then once we have that, so it only affect the population on Zubin 1. That's not totally ideal. We're not anywhere near happy, so this would be a waste of time. Honestly, maybe what Zubin should be doing is just pumping out ships. It's not very good at it, but nah, just settle. We'll figure other stuff out. Alright. So my plan right now is to use this colony is not terribly important. My plan right now is to use our war machine as a way of funding our victory, and the science scoops are an important part of that. We just go out there and we scoop up all the science off the battlefield. You know, this makes perfect sense. Probes, just find me more things. We can head out this way. We're not doing a very good job of fulfilling this quest, which I guess is kind of okay, because if we did take this system into our empire, it would be kind of awkward. Alright, looks like we did run them off. We might just go to Dobrynia now. I want to chill out here for a second and make sure they don't have anything else coming to fight us. We caught something trying to move through. What is that?
The Empire will not tolerate this.
Okay, they're gonna close their borders on us. That's fine. I don't know what the value of that is. This ship is at this system, right? Yeah. It's just gonna retreat. Oh no, it's a civilian fleet. Civilian transport fleet. That's why it wasn't showing a number above it. Well, that's actually great. So they're ferrying stuff back and forth between Dobrynia and their main empire. Blockades can be awfully useful. Okay, this Nar is actually back at full population already. We probably need a couple more of these population ships for sieging out Dobrynia. We could build actual siege ships as well. Ships that are designed not to conquer enemy enemy planets, but just to bombard the population down. After which we can walk in. Hey, Staterus is actually ecstatic. Ecstaticus. Yep, that was worth saying. Good job, me. Okay. Staterus will help with our Senate problem. This is just a scout ship? Yeah. Where are we fighting? Who's fighting what now? Pirates at Gistrad are fighting the Argosi. Well, alright. You got me. I guess we should go fight those pirates. I just don't care about them. Alright, sit down. Just chill out for a second. Oh, another civilian vessel. As much as a Craver can be a civilian. Yeah, they seem to be shipping population off Dobrynia. They're like spaceporting population over to here. I think they're trying to build up Jia. It's good for us. That means Dobrynia will fall even more easily. So here, the manpower contained in this fleet is a mere 47 armor. Not exactly what we're looking for. Let's make another manpower ship or two. I gotta remember, hold Alt to insert stuff at the top of the order. We'll just move it underneath the science scoop. Okay. So we do have our medium ship design available now. Let's have a look at that. The Drakkar. Shot class. That's cool. I don't know what that was for. Hold on, let's strip the thing. What do we have here in terms of modules? Okay, so medium, I was right. Medium support ships can, in fact, mount fighters. So we could be playing with the fighter modules here. I don't feel that we got a great view of these before. So, what is the application difference between fighters and bombers? Fighters do weapon damage. They do projectile damage. They have okay DPS, crits. They have a DPS modifier against other ships. Oh, okay. Fighters are for fighting small ships and bombers are for fighting large ships? Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Bombers do way, way more damage. But I assume are relatively easy to kill? They have less health. It's not actually that much less. Weird. Okay, what was the thing I wanted to do? Boarding parties. That's right, I remember now. Put up some boarding parties, and we want a lot of defenses on these ships. And I am going to split our defenses a little bit. Shields are always useful. The energy defense stat really only protects you against energy weapons, but your shield will always absorb damage, even projectile damage, as far as I'm aware. If I'm wrong about this, I suspect somebody will correct that in the comments, so make sure you look at the comments before taking any of my advice here. And then we have a bunch of other utility slots, which we will do with... What will we do with these? With which we will do what? I mean, we could just make this... We can make this a siege ship too. Since it doesn't seem like there are support modules that are really directly involved with the plan. Additional manpower... But that doesn't really help with the boarding pods as far as I can tell. We can reduce the damage of enemy boarding pods. Oh, I suppose the ship does need to have engines, doesn't it? But yeah, we could put a couple of A2S modules on the ship too. Okay, so the Drakkar is currently sort of a weird utility ship that's all about taking things away from the enemy. Man, I'm very eager to abandon Ash. Feels like a terrible place. I don't even really want to send population there. Will it? A point of population will be spontaneously created here in 41 turns. I mean, honestly, 8235 isn't that bad as far as population outputs go. 01242. Yeah, this system's not that horrible. Maybe we will hold on to it. And if we're holding on to it, then we should definitely send population. Who is producing the most food? It turns out Staterus. Alright, I'm going to send 3 units of population from Staterus to Ash. Is it going to be Vaulters? It is in fact going to be Vaulters. Those are the only ones we have. I assume the civilian ships use the portals, so it shouldn't take long to get there. Okay, and we still need to kill these pirates to move our faction quest forward. These ships are not really fighting ships. Okay, Zubin is unhappy with the way we're managing things. I can understand that. I see where that comes from. Trial by fire. Well, I do see a plus approval option, so that makes me think we're probably going that way. Ooh, minus influence, huh? This is a tough bargain. I think we're gonna do this. And then we might have to cut the Spoils of War Act pretty soon. I guess we've got some time. Okay. Somebody beat us to exploring the whole galaxy. It's not really a great concern of mine. Well, we backed these guys down, somehow. I kind of assumed that they were gonna do anything. They backed off really quickly. The United Empires, they are always going to be an influence issue because they have a significant amount of influence from their civilization, from their faction powers, and also from their population, I believe. Alright, let's get ready to go on the offensive here. I'm less concerned about Dobrynia than I thought I would be. The fact that they're emptying the system out by themselves tells me that I don't really have to worry about it that much. I'm not going to pay a bunch for ship design upgrades until I know for sure what we're going up against. What we really need, now that those probes have launched, we need this ship to come back home and start firing probes into their home cluster here so that I know what I'm up against. Alright, and how do I want to arrange this? What I really want... Man, that's a lot of money. Wonder why it's so much. Oh, because these guys are using massively outdated weapons modules. Actually, the longships have a lower damage output rating. It's strange. Well, let's stay put for a moment. Let's send a scout, actually. Somebody gets to go and scout. It's you. We'll start scouting next turn, you know. We'll figure out what their weapon systems look like currently, and then we'll make some decisions from there. Drakkar costs just a little bit too much manpower to produce, unfortunately. I need more things that let me push food. We can't increase our population here. We could increase our approval a little bit. Arctic world and ice world. This is all science, science branch stuff. Haven't spent enough time in that part of the tree. So this civilian ship here is part of a quest. What is the deal with the United Empire? Are they at war with anybody? Okay, their alliance is at war with the Riftborn and the Sophons, who we've not really had any contact with this time. Alright, the remnants you once welcomed as refugees are now thriving members of your empire, which is great. We don't really need manpower refill rate on fleets. We need more fleet manpower. So this is not actually the thing we need. And reducing the cost of retrofitting actually seems very good. There's a considerable reduction, too. Yeah, wow. So here comes a butcher. It's not actually in the system yet. Right, if I hit attack here. Yeah, please do leave our system though. Will they even stay in and fight? I assume they'll retreat. I would retreat if I were them. I'd be like, all right, I'm going. And I'd grouse about it. Nope, they stood and fought.
The
Bunch of jerks.
watch you, unsure if your actions will enforce or ruin the hard.
All right. Fine. Fine will be nice. All right. So what we've learned here is that this is a good retrofit. But unfortunately, this is revealing us, so we're gonna have to move fast with these ships. They're gonna get out of date quickly. And this pirate ship is just being annoying. It's just a small attacker, right? Yeah. All right. Well, 205, 435. Is this a fight that our science scoop could win? Yes, absolutely, it is. Alright, launch the science scoops. One of these ships should be able to kill this pirate. Alright, an easy victory. 170 science and 50 dust gained. And then the scoops are headed to Zubin. Oh, I didn't give them real engines. That's an oversight. Alright, this slot is defenses and... Yep, that's what that should look like. There we go. that's a little better. 0-6. Okay, I'm not interested in the UE's home planet. So people here are not happy. It doesn't make a lot of sense to build a national museum. I guess more ships. For the moment, just more ships. But every ship I build is making things worse on the manpower front. We need some of the technologies that allow you to convert industry directly into other things. What does the icon for those look like? Okay, it will appear as a building. Because there's definitely stuff like that in the science tree over here somewhere. Where is the science conversion thing? Man, I used to know this tech tree pretty well. No longer. Oh, plus 15% health regen on portal systems. That's awfully useful. Or, maybe I was looking directly at it. That's already the one I was looking for. I don't know why. It's even the blue science color. SB, what are you doing, man? What are you doing, man? It's been a long week, and I am actually still pretty sick. That's going to be my excuse. All right, Zubin, Patriot Pills. We just need, man, oh man, do we need manpower. Harry, you already have the Patriot Pills plant. You could be specialized. It's a pretty not that happy system. We really need to work on our approval. Well, we do still need strategic resources. Oh yeah, Heka, I didn't actually set anything to build on Heka. This is not a good use of our time. This is fine. We still are going through titanium. And we could be using our resources, of course, to buy more dust at the market. With which we could trade it for, we could trade that for other stuff, so. Alright. Well, we certainly can't take minus 20 dust on each system in the Empire, so ignore the, whatever it is, and let's get moving. I don't have time for reading. We gotta kill stuff. Oh, they're really bringing in the fleets. Okay, well, this should be easy enough. As long as we attack with the correct fleet. Yep, so we want to turtle, we want to be up close. This should go down with... yeah. That's also fine. He can retreat that way because that's not actually... that's annoying. Retreats deeper into our empire. He should have to run out, away from us. Okay, so one of these ships is actually full. What do we have coming in here? Is this is a civilian ship that's actually at this system right now? So I'll take that. Salvage that garbage for parts. Are we faster than he is? We are faster than he is. You know what? I'm gonna split off two of the longships. We'll get here before he will. We'll just defend here, and we'll take him out. So you guys all merge up. Okay, one long ship, a couple of carves, and the science scoop should be able to handle whatever's coming in. That looks like another one of those civilian ships to me, though. Not actually a war vessel. Cygnus. Cygnus is actually not that unhappy, and it hasn't built these yet, although these two together are only going to be 10 approval. We need more approval tech. Pretty badly. Man, Cygnus just does not... like, there's nothing that is worth building here. We have got to get some new technology. Because we really don't need more Hyperium. I'm not building miners' unions just for Hyperium. This isn't very good now. It'll be good later. I guess we can start on it. Okay, we have no idle systems anymore. Try to stabilize here a little bit. This has not exactly been an action-packed episode, but I'm trying to get my empire back under control. Right. Get you. Make it to IC 4725 before he gets here. And we stop him when he arrives. Yeah, we're making good money off of robbing his reinforcement fleets. Oh yeah, probes are just heading out and finding stuff. So I'm assuming that this stuff was not originally United Empire. Either that or the or Leo is what got taken. So Dakal is what I would want to take next. Geo will be weak, so we could maybe snipe that, but there wouldn't be any value in doing so. It's we want to hit Dakal, we want to hit Nalin, and then we want to worry about everything else. Let's see here. We're one long ship away from a full fleet here. I'm going to run these guys down to Zubin. This might be good enough. Yeah, I'm going to have us roll over here. We'll see what's what. We'll fall back if we have to. Alright, a fragment of an ancient planet that burst ages ago. I think, as much as I would love a random tech, our tech position right now is so weirdly staggered throughout the tree that there's a pretty good chance this would be a low-tier technology that's not of any value to us, and I think we could really use 10 approval. 10% science doesn't hurt either. Our science output is pretty alright. And it's getting all righter all the time. Alright, here on Esh, now that our civilians have arrived, our population units, I guess we're going to hold the place. Yeah, it makes sense to build some mining stuff here, because we could really, really use more antimatter. Apparently we're not able to expend all of that, at least. Two ships. Oh, a scout ship showed up too. Alright. I thought they would have to stay here. I guess arriving at the system because you retreated doesn't count as arriving there, so that you're able to move again afterward. Well, I kind of thought they might have gone this way. It appears that that is not, in fact, the case. Yeah, see, it's supposed to stop enemy ships for one turn when entering orbit. Well, I guessed wrong on which direction he went. Maybe we should send these guys... Yeah, sieging Dobrynia is not really giving us any benefit here. Let's just head back to Zubin and get ready to escort. So there's no ships right here. Let's keep looking around. But I think I feel pretty comfortable, like... Let's begin a siege in earnest. Zubin should probably have at least one small ship sitting at it to catch... Yeah, I feel okay rushing that. To catch the civilian fleet, because we can keep scavenging all their dust. So we're discovering stuff. We've discovered the planet Kairos way over here. Academy power has increased, which is fine. Actually, hold on a second. The Academy. I kind of forgot about this, but the Academy gives us access to information on all of the heroes everywhere, doesn't it? Isn't that... How do I use that? Here we go. So, heroes belonging to the Cravers. Nalin, unassigned, Pavo. Okay. Nalin, Pavo. Alright, so there's a hero here. So, I don't know if that unassigned means assigned to a fleet and it just doesn't give me that information. Like, does Pavo mean that he's actually assigned to the system Pavo? Or he's in a... or potentially that he's in a fleet on Pavo? I was kind of hoping we could use that to maybe deduce the location of fleets by figuring out where it said their heroes were, but now I'm thinking maybe it only shows you the system if they're actually assigned to govern the system. Yeah. Ari produced this. Oof, I'll tell you, I am glad that recording time is almost over because my headache is starting to develop into something very not fun. Okay. So we have some butchers coming. They've gone into sort of a split offense with projectile defenses, but they've also got a couple of old ships trailing. Again, we're faster than they are. I say let's catch them. Let's head back. We'll catch them here with the full force of our longships and everything, and we'll break them down. We'll maybe do some retrofitting. We'll head back out. We're finally starting to recover on manpower a little bit, so hopefully we can build some of those weird manpower-based ships that I'm very interested in seeing. All right, I'm gonna do something crazy. This carve might just die, but let's go and check out the fleets at their capital. Okay, you. Not a lot of great fighter tech, actually. We can increase the manpower capacity of our empire pretty significantly, because I believe he is the political leader of the militarist party, right? Hold on, let's check our government. Yes, he is. But our manpower capacity is pretty irrelevant right now because, of course, we're having trouble filling the manpower capacity we do have. And unfortunately, he doesn't really have another good fleet skill available. I guess we'll do this for now. We could take plus vision range. Honestly, plus vision range on his personal fleet is more meaningful than this. Okay, and 56%. I need to wait until I've researched more options, basically. Right now I don't. Okay, yeah. No, that's true. I did finish the Wellbeing Foundation research. We do need Wellbeing Foundations basically everywhere. A 6, yeah. We should probably build ships, right? Taking a moment to get predictive logistics out isn't a bad idea either. We have a lot of we have 60 industry worth of planets already. Okay, impactless sites is coming along. Commercial frameworks is coming along. Maybe I don't even need impactless sites, is what I'm thinking now. If we're not going to abandon Ash, I don't really... Pulvis production still... Yeah, Pulvis production is still important enough to get. Never mind. Which means that commercial frameworks is sort of a wasted tech in the sense that it doesn't advance us to another tier. Really need this, but I'm still going to get it. Trade companies will help with our weird dust situation. I would love to be able to drop the tax act. All right, well, I think this is where we're going to have to leave it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you are all as excited about how things are going as I am, which is to say, you know, like, things are going all right. I'm hoping that we will get into a position where we can do a little bit more experimentation with the ships. Our manpower, like I said, is finally starting to recover, so we might see some of that stuff soon. Thank you guys so much for watching, and very much for commenting, helping to set myself straight on some of the, me and everybody else, but mostly me, straight on some of the larger complexities of the systems here. Come back next time, Monday. My commentary will be better because hopefully my head will have recovered by then. And we'll see you then.